And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. I'm going to open up with a little number for you first, and then we'll tell you what I'm going to learn you today, okay? All right, let's see. Let me start off with doing something like this. If I could put my...
You have my organ.
I have your organ?
Yes, you do.
No, you don't. I have yours.
Sue, he has my
You
organ
have
too.
mine. Okay, oh, you know what? I'm going to just start with stuff that I normally like to play. Here we go. We'll open up with a little fun number here.
Are you playing Marianne?
Okay, here we go. Thank you. Please stay seated. Oh, they're all stay seated. Okay, so what I'm going to do today, I thought I'd have a little fun because we've taught a few classes on supernatural, and Carrie's done several of those. And since that time, some people are acquiring the package. So I wanted to kind of do something that was, if you just got it and you're pretty new with it, I want to demonstrate some basic things. But I also want to demonstrate what's going to happen naturally, actually, is we're going to demonstrate features of the organs at the same time, because they kind of go hand in hand. Okay? And so when you think about products over the years, Lowrey, we've carried Esty, we have Esty, there's Yamaha, and before that there was Techniques and Roland and many, and then today there's still a lot of products in the industry, and one of the things that they all have, or at least on the more elite models, is a USB drive. All right? It's a very popular, it's very big in our world today. And so if you have a USB, now if you happen to have an SU series model, anything that I teach about the USB functionally works the same, okay? So the USB, there's a reason why there's a USB drive and a port on a lot of the products. Does anybody know why? You probably have a few. Well, that's true. They're phasing out of that. But from a what the organ provides point of view, think about the model that you have, and you don't have to give me a number, but how many presets do you have in that instrument?
Many.
A lot. And most people are going to say a lot. You do. Not all of us use every single preset. A lot of times we explore a lot of the presets. Have you ever, show of hands, have you ever hit a preset on an organ and you go, I don't like that one. It happens, yes. I don't think there's a way to put 13,000 plus presets in an organ and have everyone like it. It's not possible. But there's going to be enough variety that there's something for everyone, okay? So what happens over the years as time goes on, if you have an instrument for a length of time, you actually use a lot more in that instrument than you think. And then you sometimes, if it's like me, you get to a point where sometimes you have your go-to presets and rhythms, and right? There's a lot of people that are like that. And one of the purposes of the USB is so that you can get a different version of sounds and presets from someone else's point of view. Sometimes they're very basic, like, I might be playing a song and put on strings with that piano that I was using. Well, I like it. Okay, I might save it. Okay? If I was to say, Marco, sit down and play a song, and I said, I want you to play Spanish Eyes. Okay. Now you set it up and play it. He'd set it up a certain way. And if I said, Todd, I want you to set it up and play it, I want to set it up, and if I asked Robert Fisher here and everybody, more than likely we'd have 10 different versions of that. Which one's better? Whatever one sounds. So whenever we're talking about presets, what's built into a product is someone designed those presets. And those are great, but sometimes we want more. So the idea of the supernatural was to take what was existed in the instrument and take those individual voices and sounds. And when we say the word voices, by the way, we're not talking about, okay? A piano is considered a voicing. Okay, vocal is a voice, trumpet is a voice. So that's why if you ever see anything on an email that says sounds/voices, we're referring to all of the instruments that you have in the product. Okay, so the idea of the supernatural was to take some of the best sounds, commonly used sounds, obviously like pianos and guitars, clarinets, saxophones, and make them even more authentic and real. And we thought that would never be possible. And it was, and that's how we created the supernatural. And we designed it in a way, this was the tricky part. How do we put it on a USB so that when somebody loaded them in, it was very easy to access? Well, when I do presets, a lot of us actually, when I do presets for a song, say I'm doing, I want to play Let It Be. And I sit down and I start doing my thing. Start programming, right? Well, on the Lowrey organs, most people save them on the banks, right? That's where you save presets. And where do most people save presets? Bank what? You got A, B, C, D, E. Most people say A. It's kind of like, okay, I'll start with A. Sometimes I start with B, believe it or not. Reason is I go through B and I experiment and I put it and I go, I don't like that one, but I leave them there. And then I put them into A as but that's pretty common. I do the same thing. I start with A a lot, believe it or not. And then I program them. And when I'm done, and I go, hey guys, I got presets for Let It Be. Would you like them? Sure. And I give them to you, and then you load in, and you load in all, but you push A, and then you use the preset. So we decided that when we designed the supernatural, that was our starting point. Okay? And it grew into 3 steps. So what you're going to notice, and actually, I'll do it like this here, and then I'll put it up on the screen here for those of you online. We have 2 versions, A and E, and let's see, Sue. I know you as Sue. You have Suzanne. You want me to start calling you Suzanne? Or Sue is okay? Thumbs up for Sue? Kelly? Sue Kelly? I can't hear you. You're muted. Okay. I know you as Sue. Okay.
Okay, here I am.
All right. So, what you're going to see on the screen there, and I'll show, and you all have this book. Okay?
What book?
The one that's on the screen. Can you see what's on the screen?
Yeah.
If you have the Supernatural package, you should have this book.
I don't.
If you don't have this book, do you have the Supernatural package?
No, I'm trying to find out more about it.
Okay. Well, when you do get it, this is what the book looks like. This, you're going to see some of it. Now, keep in mind, stay with me because I'm going to instruct USB stuff. Okay, this is important. So, as an example, what you see there, it says Supernatural Saxes,
Woods, piano string.
pianos. I'm going to try to get the same thing here. It's better to not do it upside down, I guess. Okay. So you see there, those are just some of the Supernatural categories on the screen there. All right. And what we did, oh yeah, if I can find the right page already. And what we did, finally, okay. So you see Supernatural Saxes, woods, piano, string, and if I go to the next one, there's 12. Technically, there's 13 actually. There's a bonus one that I believe most of you have gotten by now. If you haven't, there's a vocal 2 category. But anyway, each category has, when you load them in, saxes, when you load all, for example, Bank A will give you all of the new sounds that we've created in the sax category. Now, they're not all just saxophones, by the way. They're instruments that are in that category of sounds, okay? On the B bank, they're the exact same sounds without a touch feature at all, okay? And on the C bank, which you'll see in a moment, we put the exact same sounds and then we programmed a style of music that might go great with that sound. And that's how we did every one of those. Okay, now I'm not going to go into detail on that. What I'm going to show you is if you just want to load in a group of presets of sounds and how to use it. Okay, well, let's start with the basics. I'll start with the saxophone since it's up there. All right, Supernatural Saxes. Let me stop that screen share. I'll go to this screen here for you guys. And you guys can see me here. So let's see. Camera, yada yada, and camera, BRI. Okay. You can kind of see that up there. All right. So what I did is I have my USB in here, and I'm just going to load Supernatural Saxes, and I just touch it, and we do what we've taught everybody to do. All. Okay? Plain and simple. Now, on the Supernatural Saxes, when you have it in your screen there, all right, you all can see that online, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me do this. Can you see that okay? Is that legible enough here? Okay. All right. So on at home, I have what's up there. So it just basically says saxes, lyrical, sexy, baritone, etc., etc. All right, so A bank and the B bank have the exact same sound, just throughout the Supernatural package on the A bank, occasionally there's a touch feature on there because we think sometimes the touch feature gives it a little more authentic feel to that sound. But some people don't like touch at all. So we put the same ones on B. All right? And what I'm going to do right at this point is decide what style of music do I want to play with the saxophone. Well, I'm going to pick what I think. When I think saxophones, I think a lot of things. Swing, jazz, big band, right? You could do a lot of things. So I'm just going to put on a swing rhythm. Let me just find one. How about jazz club? Does that sound good? Say yes.
Yes.
All right. I'm glad you agree. Such an easy crowd today. Thank you so much. So I got the jazz club, and normally when we pick a rhythm style, we put on rhythm preset or style setup, and we use what's there. And they're great. But in this case, I'm going to use, what did I choose? Jazz club with my saxophones. And then all I do at this point is I touch either A or B, and I'm going to use B, so there's no touch. All right? And as I'm playing this jazz club style, I have the sounds that you guys see on the screen there. Okay? Lyrical, alto. Now, don't ask me what order. It just depends when I'm playing what mood I'm in or what I see and I go, I want to try that. There's no wrong or right to it. The only wrong is if you don't push one and try it. And sometimes, this has happened many times already, I put this group of sounds on. I've tried it with one rhythm, and there's a few of the presets that I absolutely just don't like it with. And then I put on another rhythm, and I actually love those same presets with another rhythm. That's natural, and it should happen that way. So I just start playing, and I just put on an intro here like we normally would. Now you may not see it in Zoom land, but I'm going to hit another preset. I'm going to push number 1. Four. Woo! I like that. Sexy. Number 9. Ten, full, big. Wow, some of those saxes. I got the best seat in the house because I'm right up close. If you see me sticking my head in the organs, because I like to play it a little bit loud. I don't know if you know that about me. And I have it actually at about 50%. So I like to stick my head in the speakers and really hear I like to get the full. Now, so I'm going to stay on this point for a moment. Okay. Now, what we did after we introduced this package, we had some people say, what kind of rhythms would you use with some of these sounds? And so what we did is we went back and we produced the same group of presets on the Bank C, the exact same sounds. And I'll put the page here for you guys if I could find it quickly. Okay. We put the exact same sounds, and in each one, when you push C, in the number that it says, it's going to set up that style. Okay? You see that there? That's on. We should have put page numbers in here, huh? That's in the book. And it now, so when I take any of these saxophones and I put on C, it's going to automatically set up that rhythm that you see there. Okay? Mm-hmm. Correct. If you go to the C bank, what it's going to do is any number you press is going to set up the style that's listed. Okay? Some styles are used more than once. That's normal. I think in this case we picked one per sound. And then we put a song that, hey, this might be a good suggestion to play that song. Have you ever used a song set up to play another song? Yes, right? You don't have to play that song. You may put on that preset for C0 and go, I don't feel like playing Take the A Train. I want to play something else. That's okay. All right, so I'll just leave it right there on the screen. And I'm going to push C now. And I'm going to pick a number from 1 through 10. Anybody want to pick a number from 1 through 10? 9. Okay, so I'm going to push number 9. And I still have the same sound as what it would be. But in this case, it's going to set up the Vegas Big Band, and he's suggesting H.C. Sweet. We'll see if I decide to play that song. Are you ready? All right, here we go. I remember how to play. And I decided to play Sing, Sing, Sing. So you can do that. You put number 6. Okay, let's put on number 6. What does it say? It's going to be San Fran's Naturally. And so forth. So you can, and now here's the trick. let's say I find a setting that I like, a rhythm style that it gives me, but now I want to continue using the rest of the saxes with that style. Okay, let me say it again. So let me pick one. Let me put on, I will go C0. I'm going to go to C0. So it's set up Chicago swing. Okay? And it's given me the surprise sax sound as I have it listed on the screen there. All right? You see that?
Mm-hmm.
You don't, oh, you have the original version. Wow, that's worth money. That was the original. I'm glad, let me see that. He has the original version. He's losing his marbles. He's going, this actually has very little stuff in it. This package grew a lot since then. So before I leave today, I'll give you this book. Actually, I'll just give it to you now. If I need it, I may have to grab it for you from time to time. Okay? So what I'm going to do is put C0. It's set up Chicago swing. But here's the little trick, and here's the feature that you can use as we go. I'm going to start mentioning features that anybody can use on their models. Okay? You can do a couple things here. And I don't know take the A train, so I'm going to play something else. Okay, I'll play All of Me or something like that. Now, I want to use the rest of the sounds. When I push C1, what's going to happen when I press it? Let me borrow for a quick. It's going to change the style on me. And that style may not work. Pop ballad. No, that's not going to work. You can watch it? Okay. It's not going to work. Well, gosh, that's not good. What's the point of having this feature on here? Well, there's a trick. There's two tricks. Depends on what you want to do. Now, a lot of you are familiar with a feature called accompaniment lock. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, you can do accompaniment lock. And accompaniment lock will do exactly what it says. It will lock the accompaniment. What's the accompaniment? Bass, rhythm, style, left-hand chords, everything. Okay? Now, if you notice these lists of styles on the screen there, name some of the styles you see as I go through. Chicago swing, what's the next one? Pop. What is the next? Go straight down. Chicago swing, pop ballad.
8-beat standard.
Right here. So wait, where am I? I'm on the wrong page, sorry. He gave me the wrong page, you little trickster.
8-beat swing.
50, you got 8-beat standard, you got
16
those tempos aren't going to work the same for all of those. So the other thing you would want to do is push the tempo lock if you were doing it that way. So I could push accompaniment lock and tempo lock, and now I can continue using 1 through 10. Now that feature applies to everybody, whether you're using this or not. Accompaniment lock does exactly what it says. It locks the accompaniment. Okay? That means everything. Your volume with your left hand, that's accompaniment. Your drum, your rhythm style, the alter style, drum variation, everything that associates with accompaniment. What accompaniment lock does just that. Okay? If you want to do it that way, you just got to remember to also put on tempo lock. Okay? Now I'll demonstrate. And let me take this off so you guys see this. And then I'm going to show you, for those supernatural owners, I'm going to show you an easier way. Okay? So I have it on Chicago swing. Let's see what I got here. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to play, no, I push C0 and it automatically put Chicago swing for me. That's my starting point. Okay? Let me change the camera view here. Okay. All right. Now, there's two ways to do this. The easy way and the easier way. This is the easy way. I'm going to push accompaniment lock. I'm going to go to my locks. I'm going to put accompaniment lock, and then I'm going to lock the tempo. Do you all know how to lock your tempo on your organ?
Push the 2 buttons.
Push the 2 buttons together. Now they're locked. Now watch. I'm not going to do too much playing. I'm just going to switch the presets. I'm going to go to number 1. Number 2. I'm on C still. I'm on C. I just went 1 through 10 very quickly. Did the rhythm change? The tempo change, everything stayed the same. So you could lock that and then play all of the sounds with the Chicago swing. That was just 5 of them, okay? So if you load it in, like we did, we loaded in the saxophones, we loaded it all. I went to the C-Bank to see what style would come up with that sound, and if I like it, and I want to use the rest of the presets with it, you can turn on accompaniment lock and tempo lock. And as you change the presets, because it's locked, your accompaniment won't change. It locks in the C-Bank. It actually locks in everything because you're changing the presets yourself anyway. Okay? Now, here's the other way that I like to do it. Okay? Accompaniment lock and tempo lock is a very good feature to use not just when we're doing these, but in anything. If you ever pick a style and you really like it, and you like the tempo, maybe you like what you're using, you lock it, and you change your presets. If you lower your left-hand volume, maybe you made a few changes. Maybe it's too bassy for you, whatever you're using. And you lock the accompaniment, okay? Now, here's the other way I'm going to do it. So I'm going to turn off those locks, go back to the way it was, all right? I'm going to start again on C0. C0 gave me what style?
Chicago swing.
Chicago swing, okay? I want to continue using the rest of my presets, and I don't want the rhythm to change. Now let me demonstrate what happens if I don't lock it. The rhythm is changing.
There is.
That's why it's programmed that way. It's designed that each one gives you a different style to go with that sound. It's what it's designed to do. But it's counterproductive if you can't use those sounds with one of them. Well, here's the easier way. I'm going to go back to C0. Let's listen to it. Okay. Great. So I got it. Now all I have to do, if I want to use the rest of the saxophone sounds, is just go to B or A. You look confused, but it's really that easy. So I'm going to go, I loaded them all in. I put C0. I got Chicago swing. Let's listen to it. Okay. And I got a great sound. I want to use the rest of the saxophone sounds, and I don't want that rhythm to change on me. All I have to do at that point is go back to B or A. Now watch. I'm on the B bank, and I'm not going to play anything. I'm just going to go through the presets and tell me if you see the rhythm change. Hear the rhythm change. Here's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The rhythm and tempo stayed the same. And the reason is real simple. All of the individual voices and sounds that are in this package, the A bank and the B bank are just that. They're just the voices and sounds that have been totally revoiced. Okay? Nothing would do with rhythm. So you can interchange them however you want. Even if you manually pick your own rhythm. But if you go to the C bank and decide to choose a you're getting a suggestion, okay? And then you want to continue using it, just go back to the B bank and then continue playing, and they'll remain.
Huh.
So we designed it that way, so you had the flexibility of using it the way you want to use it. Now I've had some people, they said they loaded it in, and they went straight to the C bank and pushed C0 and played, and then they pushed C1 and played a different song, and guess what? That's the way they wanted to use it, and you could do it that way. But here is to me the big win. And this involves knowing how to load USB. Now, if you're not familiar with loading USB, this is going to come in handy, okay? When people have USBs, what I've found over the years is the hardest part of the USB, of using a USB, is saving your own setups. Okay, now when I'm saying I'm not saying everybody. I'm saying for most students, when people have a USB, the hardest part for them in the beginning is programming the organ, saving presets in the organ, saving it to the USB, titling it, renaming it. That's a lot of work. Okay? The easier part is when we say, here's a USB, it's already got a bunch of stuff on it. And then all you have to do is learn how to load it. Okay? Well, for those of you a little newer, let me go up, let me change cameras now. Let's see, that camera. And I know some of you on here, I know who you are. You're pros at this. But if you're a beginner at this, let's pretend you know nothing, okay?
Yes.
Number one, you have to insert the USB into the organ. Now, you think that's elementary, we should know that, but you'd be surprised how many times I've had a call where I push it and it said, no USB found.
Yeah, I've done that.
No USB found. And let me tell you something, folks. Sometimes you have the USB in the organ and it still says that. First of all, the little secret is don't rush it. I'm impatient sometimes. Like I'll put in USB and hit USB and load right away, and it says new USB found. And then I do it again and it works. Because once you put it in, it has to connect to the device. It takes a second. Okay? But once you have the USB in there, you touch USB. Actually, let me do this. I might go back and forth on this so you guys can see it. I think it's going to be top right. Let's see. USB. Load setups. Okay? And you'll see on there, there's what we showed in the book. And there's all the groups. Okay, I'm going to scroll up. And again, and you'll see there's number 13. So if you don't have 13 on yours, make sure to get with your PA because they all have a copy of it now. Marco went back and redesigned a bunch of male vocals and Gregorian chant types. It was really amazing. And I think we've been getting them to most of the people. So you'll know if you don't have 13 on your list, come see us, okay? But anyway, so there's all the categories. And I'm not going to go 14 on down. I'm just focusing on the voices and sounds, okay? So again, you would normally hit what you want. You hit all. Let me go back, cancel that. Let me go to Woods. And you hit all. And the process would be the same over and over, okay? But here is the part that we debated about doing. When I say we, Marco and I. And he said, should I do it this way or should I do it that way? And I insisted that we make each one cater to that group of sounds, okay? To make the process easy right away. You hit USB, load, select the one you want, hit all, boom. That easy to load in, right? And then you just push the presets and play. That's why I'm headed to. That's my next point. Good question. She was reading my mind.
What's the question?
The question, you didn't hear it. The question was, can you load more than one? What I've encouraged a lot of students, every staff member is a little bit different, and what I've encouraged a lot of students is do what I just did and play and play and play. And as you're doing that, you're going to find categories that you like more than others. I have some people that love the woods, and I have some people guitars all the time, you know, and that's okay. That's what they're there for. But the next step is, and there's two ways to do this. What I'm going to explain to you, or in the beginning, make your PA work for you.
If you don't have one.
You don't have one, see us. And we'll find a way to help you. Okay? All right. So the question she had was, can you load more than one? Yes, you can. And I'm going to give you that instruction, and it's going to be recorded, so you can go back and play, pause, rewind, play, so you get it. And it sounds hard at first, but it really isn't. I'm going to back up. All of the sounds in the supernatural, forget the C bank, because the C bank gives you a rhythm, right? Are on, when you load all, where are they found? Bank what? A and B. They're exactly the same. The difference is the A bank may have some touch feature. The B bank doesn't, okay? What I found is most people rather use the B because they don't hit the keys hard enough. I get it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it up on the screen there. I'm going to hit USB, load, and I like saxes, so I'm going to put saxes. Okay? Now, what I'm about to teach you is great for supernatural, but it's also great if you have your own stick with your own presets.
Oh, okay.
Because what did we say earlier? When you save your own presets, or you have some, sometimes I've given Song of the Month, they're always on A. And every time you play another song, you have to do what? Load it again. Okay? So, because they're always on A, you have to keep loading it. Or, in advance, if you load more than one, then you can load them into A, B, C, D, or E. Okay? And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start with, what did I say? Supernatural saxes. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the A bank. So I'm going to press A. I'm going to load A. And where do I want to load it into? We'll start with A. Keep it simple, okay? Can you see that on the screen out there?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I got a head nod. All right. So I'm going to touch A and A. So right now on this instrument, I have the saxophones from the A bank into the A. Now I'm going to do it again. USB, load, and I'm going to go piano. So I selected piano. Okay? Now, I do not want to press all, because if I press all, it's going to wipe out what's in there. I don't want to do that. What bank do I want to grab it from? A. So I'm going to select A. Now before I go any further, if you could see it on the screen there, it's saying, where do you want to put it? You can put it in D. You can put it anywhere. Where you don't want to put it is A, because I put something else there, all right?
Right.
Okay, she said D, so I'll take her advice. Sometimes I go in order because then I might forget. Now, where did I put the last one? But I did it on D. So if I get to that point, you'll have to remind me. All right, so let me do another one. USB, load. Actually, I do like strings. I like strings in general, but I like these strings as well. So I'm going to start with A. Now I have a choice. Put it in B, C, or E because A and D have something in there, right? So I'm gonna put it into B.
Already did.
Okay. Now I'm gonna go load, and I'm gonna pick guitars, and I'm gonna press A because that's where I want to grab it from. Now I have something in A, B, and D. C, I almost forgot. I'll just put it in the C. Okay. And then I can do one more. USB load. And then solo. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm going to start with A. And I'm going to put it into E. Solo. A lot of instruments and sounds that are great for doing a solo. You might have a piano in there. A different type of piano. Solo type instruments that work great. We're doing something without a harmony. Okay. Now if you look on the screen there. If you could see that with the glare there. Okay. So if I push A, you'll notice at the top right corner it says supernatural saxes. And there's all the saxes. On B, supernatural strings. C, supernatural guitar. Supernatural piano. Supernatural solos. Okay? Now, if you like this group that you put together, guess what? Why do that work again next time?
Save it to a stick.
Because if I've reset this organ or I don't put it on the stick, guess what? The next time I want those 5 like that, it's gone. I have to do it all over again. So now I'm going to save it onto the USB. I'm going to hit USB, save. And I'm going to go to a different number on my stick. Okay. And I got 108 that's open. Now, I'm not going to title it now for in the essence of time, but you can title it however you want, okay? So I'm going to hit save for now because I can always go back and rename it. So my group of presets here on number 108 is this new group of sounds that I borrowed, okay? So you can take sounds from other categories and put together your own custom supergroup. Now here's what I did. Here's what I'm going to tell you to do. I want you to look on the screen there. All right. If you have the supernatural, you'll notice that the first 12 or 13 match the book. 13 doesn't exist in the book, but it does exist. Okay? See, 14, 15, 16, those are the reinvented styles. We won't go into that right now, but you'll notice once I get past number 28, well, those are some extra things I have on my stick, but let me go a little further. You'll see it jump to 101. You see that there?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you may be hard to decipher, but it may not be, and I'll tell you what I did. Exactly. What I did is I created a group, sax, wood, piano, strings, guitar. That's how I abbreviated it.
Right.
And I created another group, bell, brass, solo, vocal, extra. They're all from what exists already on there. I just did what we just did. Cascade, mix, vocal 2, and then sax, wood, piano, string, guitar, bell, brass, solo, vocal, extra, cascade, mix, vocal, and then 108 is now my new group.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yes. What I had to do was what we just did. I loaded A into A, B into B, C into A into C. I did what we just did. And then I saved it and I renamed it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I took from another part, I took it and I created my own super group of categories so I don't have to load one every time. So when I load one of these, I've got 5 of them in there, or 3 of them. Yeah, they're loaded. And the title, everything's labeled. Now here's the bonus for you, is when I go to the stores as I travel around, today I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to Florida in a couple weeks. When I go to the stores there, I'm going to give them these categories and put it on their computer. So if you have the supernatural, you bring your USB in, they'll put them onto your stick so you'll have them already done for you. Okay? And what I'm going to encourage is if you have a group that you would like and you're not quite sure how to do it yet, get with a personal assistant and we'll find a way to make it exist for you supernatural users. Okay? If you don't have the supernatural, look what you got to look forward to when you do get it. Okay? So, your question?
How much is it?
Uh-huh. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can remember the USB. She was asking about the C bank. Here's an example. I want you to look on the screen there. This is fun. Look at number 104.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see? What does it say?
Sax, woods, and piano.
Now you'll see I purposely created a couple groups where I only put 3 banks. 3 categories.
Mm-hmm.
So more than likely it's A, B, C. I loaded up, so that's A, B, C. Yeah. D and E is kind of vacant, isn't it? And if I want to take something from one of the other categories, I can load it into D or E. Exactly. Now, again, if you get used to doing this, great. If you kind of need a little help, that's why we're here. Because I have some students, they know how to load all. But to load all A, B, put it back on, that gets a little tricky for them. I have a student in Tucson. She played with it for a few weeks, and she came in, she knew exactly what she wanted. She was having trouble saving it because she got another USB and was experimenting, like I said. And I said, just put them on there and try. And if you mess it up, you still have the original, okay? And she just came out, I'm having a hard time, but this is what I like and want. Okay, and I went in, loaded it in, put it on her stick, away you go. If you're not near a store, I can put it and email it to you, and then you can put it onto your stick. I'm going to leave a copy of this in all of the stores. So if you're local, just walk into the store with your USB. You got to prove that you're a supernatural owner. But going back to the USB, the functionality, the concept works on anything. So if you have a USB that maybe you have presets you created for Spanish Eyes, one for All of Me, and one for Imagine, and you have each one, you can create a super group of presets so that way you don't have to load it every time. Okay? So, the last thing I want to share with you is a tip that applies to everybody. I mentioned locks earlier. You have multiple locks on the organ. Okay? And some of the obvious locks are what I said earlier. You have accompaniment lock, right? And if you push accompaniment lock, do you remember what I told you at locks?
Mm-hmm.
Everything that has to do with accompaniment. It'll lock your left hand sound that's there. If you have strings in organ or piano, whatever, it locks that. It locks the alter style, the drum variation, the alter style, the auto bass, everything that has to do with accompaniment, drum volume, everything. And sometimes that comes in handy. Sometimes I'm playing along because Marco created these. Bill created the ones that's built into the Lowrey. Kerry creates his own. I create my own. Todd creates his own. And we all have a different opinion as to which sound should be louder. The left hand should be, believe it or not, Marco likes to really hear his left hand. On the Lowrey organs, a lot of the left hand sounds are very soft. And I have a lot of people complain about that. You know how I like it? Sometimes I don't like it that loud. Sometimes when I make my own presets, I don't even have a left hand sound because I'm using the background. So the point is, we all have a different opinion of what we think works great. But let's say you're playing along and you're playing your left hand chord. You're playing and you go, the left hand's not loud enough, too loud, whatever. Just remember, you have a little secret tip, a weapon, if you call it. If you just simply go over, I don't know if you saw this earlier, but when I opened up, it's probably hard to see on camera here, I reached over to the side here. I got the left hand sound volume where I liked it, and I pressed the two together. Actually, it's still there. And it locked the left hand volume of the lower. This is your left hand, lower. And whatever volume, let me turn it off. Let me put some of his presets on. His jumped up in this preset 1, 2, 3, 4.5 notches because he really likes that left hand chord sound to come through. I'm not a fan of a lot of left hand. Some people turn it up way too loud, I think. But when you're in your home, you play it however you want, right? So what I did is when I was playing, I turned it down and I pushed the two together and I locked it. The same applies to the style, the background of the style. Maybe if you're using styles, when you go from a big band or Broadway and then you go to a pianist style or soft and easy, one's big, one's soft, right? The volume and the style's not always going to be ideal for that. That should change. But if you have a style that you like at the background and you're like, okay, I like it there, you can lock that too. Just push the two together. Yeah.
Where?
Right next to the lower. It says lower and then it says style. And on the A models, On the A models, it's over here. It's Orchestra Plus, okay? And then lower is still lower, okay? Bass. I know some people, they like a lot of bass. And I know some people, they can't handle it at all. Our ears change as we age, let's face it. So you can lock the bass too. And how do you do that? You just push the two together. So if you're putting, whether you're using this or anything on the organ, if you ever have something you kind of like, but maybe the left hand's not loud enough, or maybe the bass is too strong, and that's the only thing, you can lock that, just that individual volume, and then continue doing everything you do. You just got to remember, until you turn it off or deactivate it, it's going to be locked there until you deactivate it, okay? That's just a fun little feature that works anywhere. And I mention it with this because I love the presets that are built in, but sometimes they're too soft, and I turn it up a little bit, and then I lock it. And then I've been playing Marco's. Some have been, oh, perfect, and I was like, he's a little loud on that preset. He did it that way because you had a strong right hand. But I don't like a strong left hand typically when I'm using rhythms. That's just my, when you're playing at your house, you're gonna do it the way you want to do it, and you get to choose and customize that, okay? So I opened up, by the way, using a category that was called, it was pretty obvious. Let me put it on the screen. And if you have the book there, let's see. Let's see. There was what we call the reinvented styles, where we took 14 of the greatest styles that we thought were great, and we totally, when I say we, I'm taking credit for, even though I didn't do it, and created new styles using what you have, which is cool. I used Bessemer Latin in the beginning, and then I used the presets. Now, by the way, those presets are using all the supernatural sounds. So if you heard some of those presets I were using, that's what Marco did, is he took his creation and he borrowed from various categories into one group with the style. I'll do another one here. Let's see. What am I in the mood for? I'll do, you know what? I'm in a jazzy mood for some reason. I'll do Satin Summertime. Okay, number 15. And I'll use the presets that's built into it. By the way, for those of you who have the Marquee, Rialto, and Inspire, when we created this package, 6 of those were specifically designed on a Grand Marquee or higher. In other words, they wouldn't work. So when we offer those packages, we didn't put them on there because if you put Bessemer Latin, for example, that you heard, if you put it in the organ and it doesn't exist, it defaults to swing band. It sounds terrible because the computer is looking for doesn't exist. And then Marco recorded all the songs, and so you hear him playing back in a swing band. People would have thought he lost his mind. One of the projects I have Marco working on this week is to go back on those 6 that didn't exist, and he is now going to create one for those so the Marquee has something as well. Won't be the exact same, but it'll be something comparable. On the A models, for those of you who have the A models, we didn't have an insert with what we call the C-Bank suggestion. That's another project I have him working on. It's very tedious because what you have to do is load in every preset, see what the style is, play it, and suggest a song that goes with that. So he's got to do that 120 some odd times. So it's a very tedious project, but that's okay. We're going to do the work, and when it's done, we'll announce it. So if you have the A Supernatural, we'll have a new handout for you. I also, by the way, I created I call them super groups on the A models as well. I'm going to leave those. For those of you who have the Symphony, Prestige, Imperial, Liberty, Patriot, Sterling, I think I got them all. I'm going to leave those super groups for you as well at the store. And if you're not near a store, get with me and I'll get that to you, okay? So, I enjoyed teaching today. I feel like I've been taught in a long time. Hope you learned something.
We enjoyed
If you
having
have the supernatural, I hope you got a little bit different take, because Carrie did similar classes on this, but if we each did a similar class, they'd be 6 similar classes but different. Different point of views. And that's the goal here. In fact, tomorrow at 2 o'clock, Carrie is actually doing his official supernatural fun shop. So, and I'll record, yep, on Zoom, and I will record it. So if you want to, he's got something else planned, because he's been kind of doing some other cool little things. My goal today was kind of refresh the basics of just using it and how you can customize your own. Whether you want to do it or you say, I want to customize it, and you hand it to your PA and you go, here, you do it for me. Here's what I want. Okay?
Robert,
Robert.
Yes.
could I ask you a question?
Yes, you may.
I want to know one thing, because this is so new to me. All the sticks that I have, are they now no good? Or what are
They still work. Any sticks that you have will work like they normally do. This is just a separate USB altogether
okay?
that's made.
Okay.
Now, on that note, I've had some students that had presets from some other people, or they experimented with creating their own. Okay, I've had some of them get creative, and they went back and they borrowed sounds from here and added it to their previous arrangements.
Okay, but the sticks that I have that I like, I certainly wouldn't want to lose.
You won't lose them.
So does that go on to the new supernatural, or are they
No,
just
no, you would keep that as a separate stick. I'll give you an idea. Here's my supernatural stick for the A.
okay?
And in my little pouch here,
I saw the other ones.
I have this stick for another Lowrey organ. That's another one. Here's my one from when I do just my normal concerts. My personal priest. I have like 8 or 9 sticks in here for various things.
Yeah.
That's the idea of USBs, is that you can put all in. Some people have combined them and put them onto one. I don't advise it, but some of us, we just end up having 10 or different. And I just put a label on it, so
If
so I
you
know
want
what
Mine.
new sound, if you want the new sound, then the old sound on the old stick is not going to sound as good as the supernatural stick.
Right. So you can take the new sounds and add them to your previous arrangements if you want. So, for example, I have an arrangement for Ave Maria
On an old stick.
on an old stick that I've played. I have 7 presets,
Okay?
and I think they're great.
Okay.
What I started to do, because I use a lot of string sounds in that group, what I did is I loaded my Ave Maria presets into the organ. They're on the A bank, go figure. And then I took the strings and I loaded the A into the B, and I used them together.
On the new stick.
No, I didn't override it. I use them both. Now, if I really want to, I can take it a step further and create a C bank and create a whole another setting. I don't advise deleting other stuff. I think saving things and just creating new things, and you have multiple versions that you're going to like.
Hard
Right.
to-
Robert,
Yes.
okay, how do I go about getting the program, the supernatural?
Call one of our staff members. Are you? Who's talking? I can't see.
This is Charlie from West Virginia.
Oh, from West. Oh, you're up there. Okay.
We have nobody up here. You
It
know
was
that.
hard to see you because for some reason I see a black on your screen.
I
and your
know.
Your face is peeking around the corner. I'm like, is
There
that
I
who I
am.
think it is? There you are. We'll have someone get in touch with you and share what that is. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
All
because
right. By the way, a side note, and this is important for those of you who have the A models. The A models, USBs have been kind of a pain in the you-know-what. Because we have a clever person back here. He hadn't said anything all for the last hour and all of it. And he just pipes up and goes, what? That was Todd, by the way. A lot of USBs out there, when you try to save stuff on the A models, you get all sorts of errors and things. And here's what I've found. SanDisk, SanDisk. Oh, what camera am I on?
Let's see.
Okay. I've fooled with that a few times, and it works. This is actually a 32 gig, and it worked. Okay. 8 gig is the lowest you can find on, I think, on Amazon. Yeah, I found 8 gigs. Okay, hold that thought. Hold that thought. I also discovered, I just gave it a try. I think I had a Memorex stick, and I tried it, and it worked. And it was a 32 gig. Okay? On the E models, they tend to be a little more user-friendly. Okay? Just FYI. So one I'm using here is neither of those, and it's working fine. But on the A models, there is one other little trick, and I think I'm going to post it on the Patreon site. I learned this from Carrie, who actually got this from a student that I guess is really smart when it's computers and the using PC. And she found a way with PNY, Memorex, or these. She found, because we always say if you can get a low 1 gig or 2 gigabyte stick, it works better. It works a little faster. It's all. And there's a process that if you get one of those sticks on your computer, you can convert this 32 in this case. I think I actually have one. It was a Memorex or something like that. It's not in this pouch. And I went through the steps and I converted it to a 1 gigabyte stick. And it worked flawlessly. So I'm going to post that on our Patreon. I'm going to put all this stuff on there. Plus, if you go back and watch this, you'll remember. But I'll post the steps. Like if you happen to have some that's just not, for those of you who have the A models, okay, and it's kind of just giving you problems, if you do these steps, I tried it twice and both sticks worked afterwards. So it's kind of great. Okay? So what I'm going to do.
When is Carrie's class again?
Tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Let me verify that. Oh, I got to tell the website people to put it up. I'll put it in an email. Let me see. Sent. Let me see. What did I have to email them here? Yes, it'll be 2 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
Okay, that's 12 o'clock Arizona. And I believe if you're on the West Coast Pacific, that's 1 hour behind that. So that's 11 o'clock.
3 hours.
Okay, and what I'll do is if it's this, the link is not on the website, I'll put it in the email as well, so you'll have more than one place to find it. He's got a couple cool. Yes.
I have a Rialto. Rodney Romano. Okay, and I'm wondering when are you going to be able to get all the? I'm not able to get 6 or 7 of the styles on my Rialto.
No, actually, Marco's working on that.
And mine's a Rialto too, Robert.
We're gonna have it all done this weekend.
This weekend. Huh?
Well, then when he goes back home, then he's gonna check them all out again. Yeah. Okay. So I have him doing 5 different projects this week. He's been in Tucson. He's been in Tucson since Monday, all day long with headphones on.
Oh, geez.
On Lowrey, Yamaha, SD, Lowrey. We got a real major fun project. One of those projects was going back and adding those in for those models. So not to worry. You have another? You have 13. You should have it. We could check it, but you should have 13 on there. Okay?
Hey, Robert?
Yes.
You were mentioning about memory sticks.
Yes.
I went and I bought off Amazon 1 megabyte sticks. Like for just saving the presets.
1 gigabyte or 1 megabyte?
1 megabyte.
I don't think 1 megabytes exist.
Yeah, I bought them off Amazon. They were
1 gigabyte is 512 is 1,000 megabytes.
I know.
I don't think the megabytes actually exist. Don't think they ever have.
Sure, 1 meg.
You can double check it, but if it's probably a 1 gig. I have found some 1 gig sticks, but those don't work on the A models.
Okay.
I have a
I was
bunch of
saying
them
for
that
my
I have a
marquee.
bunch of them. And I always have problem on the A model. So just FYI. Okay, what I'm going to do is close off with a number because the students here got their own little jam session they do, and they're chomping at the bit to play. We got a couple concert artists here. They're all laughing at me. All right, so I'm going to close off. What did I say I was going to do? But which one did I say I was going to pick? I said it. See, when you get to be my age, you forget these things. Jazzy, okay. Oh, so I'm going to use the Satin Summertime. Satin Summertime. And I'll use the presets there. I don't know Satin Doll because my book went away. I know a little bit of Summertime, but I'll play something else with it. No, just play something. That's the idea. You can play anything you want with it. Here we go. Here we go. Well, I had some fun with that.
Robert,
I used a little bit of fake it in there on some of those. So yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed. You learned something. At least one thing today, as Don always says. If you learn at least one thing, we've done our job well. And stay tuned in tomorrow, and I'll work on getting this video up sooner than later, and posting all the other little stuff that I said I was going to do. Okay. And,
Robert.
Yes.
Okay, the ones that I found, the USBs that I found that worked really well in my Rialto are called R-Top. They're 2 gigabytes. I get them from Amazon.
Okay, make a note, everybody. But you have an E, so you're going to find that the E models, a lot of the sticks are a little more user-friendly. Okay? So for some of your friends, if they have any of the A models, keep in mind what I said, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. And As always, stay safe. Keep playing music every day. Be kind to one another. Be kind to your Fletcher salespeople in case they ask you to buy something. That's always a good thing. I just sneak that in at the end. Mwah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. I'll call you in a bit, Char.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.